up, my gorgeous little divas? Welcome back to my channel. I have gathered you all here today for a very important reason. I recently talked to a psychic, and I need to fill you guys in on everything that happened because I feel like if you guys have been keeping up with my life at all, you know what's been going down. It's been a little rough. It's been a little rough around the edges, I'm not gonna lie. My luck's been, but not the greatest. Lately it's been like, car getting broken into, breakup, paying $300 to check my bags on a fucking flight to Paris, ants in my apartment. And while these are all kind of trivial little things and they really aren't, anything catastrophic or like life altering, it's just been like a nuisance. So I was like, let me talk to the cosmos. I need to figure out what's going on. I feel like every time I survive some atrocity, I stand back up, I like dust myself off, and the universe is like, hit her again. And it's like, baby, I get it. I'm resilient. I've learned the lessons too many times. And just to give you guys a little context, a little backstory, I used to consider myself a baby witch. I would do the damn thing. I would cast my spells. I would light my incense. I would sage my house and, howl to the moon. And I just feel like over the past few years, I've really lost touch of that side of me. And when I was really spiritual, doing my witchy shit, that's when I feel like my life was kind of going the best. So I said, you know what? I'm calling in the big guns. I need to sit down with a psychic and just figure out why. Why is this? So yeah, I resorted to seeing a psychic, but it wasn't a psychic in the traditional sense of like, I wasn't in this woman's living room. She didn't have like a tapestry up. I wasn't coughing on sage and incense. There weren't like crystal balls rolling around the floor like a tumbleweed. It was actually through an app called Nebula, but buckle up because I have my thoughts. I laughed, I cried. I think I'm like engaged to the stars now. Okay, so here's my thing. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I've always kind of considered myself somewhat of a baby witch. I've always been super into astrology, spirituality, tarot cards, all that jazz. However, when it comes to psychics, I've always been a little skeptical. So I've never actually seen a psychic before. This was my first time. Because I think in the back of my mind, I'm like, are they just telling me what I want to hear? Like, is this just a generic statement that you could say to anyone, but like, I'm going to take it personally and just kind of like apply it to my life? Or it's like, did you stalk my Instagram and now you know things about me? So anyway, the other night I was laying in bed, just scrolling through my phone, and I saw Nebula. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. I downloaded the app and I was scrolling through. They have a bunch of different readers and each of them have like their own little specialties, their bios, reviews, all that jazz. Also, what I thought was really cool was the amount of psychics that they have. You will 100% find your fit because I was scrolling through and it felt like the options were endless. And they're also available 24/7, which is sick because I think I did my reading at like 3 a.m. And a bunch of psychics offer different things, which is really cool because you can do like an astrology reading, you can do palmistry, you can do a tarot reading, or a scanning. Like there were a lot of options. So I was going through the app and honestly, it's really entertaining because it kind of feels like Tinder. Like I get my Hinge fix scrolling through because it shows you all the different psychics and like they have their little bios and like their specialties and you kind of go through and you can like choose who you want. So I found my girl Hillary and immediately it clicked and I knew that was my girl because she specialized in like life path readings as well as relationship stuff, which is where all my questions are. So I was like, she is my girl. So I messaged Hillary just a cute little what's up text. And here's my thing. I didn't want to give her too much insight. I didn't want to give her anything to work with. I was like, I need to know that you're the real deal. And she responded back fast and she was just like, hey girl, send me your birth information so I can pull up your chart. I said, abso-fucking-lutely. So she got my birth chart information and then she asked me, she's like, is there any area specifically that you want to focus on? And without giving her too much, I was just like, career and relationships. Again, like I said, I didn't give her any insight into my life whatsoever, but immediately she was like, you just went through a breakup. I said, sure did. Sure did. And then she was like, it feels like you're going through a very transformative period career-wise. Again, without telling her shit from ass, Miss Hillary was like, it feels like you have a very big creative project that you want to execute, but you're just nervous. She's like, you are literally standing in your own way. You need to move. You're overthinking. Your brain is going to like worst case scenario. She was like, the best thing that you can do for yourself is just fucking jump into the water, which is crazy because I've been considering starting my own podcast for a bit and that is just dead on. I mean, everything, and obviously she like went into it more and she like elaborated on it more, but it really fucking struck a chord with me because it was eerily specific. Like it just fully aligned with my situation currently. And again, I think I struggle with psychics sometimes because I'm a little skeptical. I'm like, is this just a blanket statement you could give to anyone? but it was so catered to my situation to a T, and where I'm at in this point of life where I was like, ooh, the cosmos don't fucking lie. So yeah, she told me all that stuff, and that's when I finally messaged her back, and I was like, hey, so that's actually terrifying because you are so spot on. You are right on the nose. And I explained to her like my situation, how I want to start a podcast. I'm kind of like nervous, getting in my own head about it, and also my breakup, everything that happened with that. And honestly, she was really good too, because I feel like I wasn't asking questions. She was just kind of like firing off. Like we were just like texting back and forth. And she was just rapid firing message after message. I wasn't even asking her questions. She was answering them before I could even ask them, which was like what was so sick. Like I would just be thinking of a question in my head being like, okay, I should ask her this. And before I could even do it, she would just text it to me. She was like, also, by the way, I think you can expect to meet your next partner March or April of next year. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, Hillary, are you in my fucking brain? Also, if you guys keep up with me or like know me in any fucking capacity, it's been a thing since forever, since middle school, where I'm just like, I just don't think I'm ever gonna get married. And it's not because I don't want to, it's just a feeling. I feel like Taylor Swift in The Prophecy. I'm just kind of like, I don't think it's in the cards for me, especially not having children, because I just don't feel maternal at all whatsoever. I just can't imagine myself with kids. And I ended up asking Hillary, and I was like, hey, just curious, like, is this in the cards for me? Because I don't think it is. She said, you can plan on getting married and you most likely will be having kids, which honestly, not to be corny, made a bad bitch tear up a little, because it's just like, oh. And again, even if it's not fucking real, whatever, like it still was just really nice to hear, and it gave me like a little hope. She also ended up asking me I didn't even ask her. She asked me, she was like, any chance you're still hung up on your ex? And I was like, honestly, Hillary, not really. Like I think I'm good off of it, whatever. And she's like, okay, good. And I was like, huh, why? And she goes, he was not your person. I said, okay, thanks for the confirmation. Like I kind of felt that, but thank you for confirming. And then she just went on to say, like, you know, he was a huge lesson. You guys were fated to meet. That was predetermined. Again, without me even telling her anything, she was like, he taught you X, Y, and Z. These were the lessons that you needed to take from him. Move on. And I literally was sitting there like, what the again, just gagged me, because it could have been so vague, but like the lessons that she was saying were so specific to like our relationship. Yeah, I don't know. Hillary's like Nostradamus or something. It was actually crazy. I mean, and then there were some moments where it did feel kind of vague, or just kind of like blanket statements like everything happens for a reason. And I'm like, you don't say. Where it just felt like it could have like applied to anyone. Honestly though, like regardless if you believe in psychics 100% or not, I just think the experience made me feel good. Like I said, just getting some hope on some things where I've just shut them off completely in my mind, or like I've just kind of chalked it up to, oh, it's never gonna happen for me. Just hearing someone else say that like, hey, this actually is in the cards for you, that like this can happen, it was just nice. It just felt good. And I think it just kind of reframed my way of thinking. Like it just kind of gave me perspective and made me think of things in a different way. And I think sometimes that's really what you need. Like realistically, maybe do some deep self-reflecting and hone in on the things that are actually important to me and ultimately what I want from this lifetime. But again, it's like I didn't walk away being like, yeah, like Hillary solved my entire life. But I did walk away feeling strangely happier, and like, again, just getting more clarity on where I want to focus my energy, even if it just came from me internally. Hillary was like a vessel, you know? So would I recommend to a friend? Abso-fucking-lutely. In fact, I think I've been parading around town just spewing to everyone. I'm like, wait, you guys have to try this. My mailman's delivering a package. I'm like, hey, by the way, get on Nebula, talk to a psychic. You know, like if you're into spirituality or astrology, or even if you're just curious like I was, I'd say, hell yeah, girl. I think it's worth trying at least once. And also bonus points if you're a lazy bitch like me, because I really just did that shit from my bed. Like I didn't have to get up, I didn't have to get dressed, get ready, leave the house. And really, I think just go into it with an open mind. But just remember, like at the end of the day, no one knows your life better than you do. And just have fun with it. Like I thought it was interesting. And honestly, if anything, it lit a fire under my ass. It lit a fucking fire under my ass to get a move on with my career. Start doing shit. And it was just nice to feel like the universe was giving me a little wink, you know? But yeah, that was my experience talking to a psychic on Nebula. If you guys try Nebula, or honestly, if you've had a psychic reading in general, please, please, please let me know in the comments, because I'm such a nosy bitch and I love this shit. I think it's so interesting. Like, let me know all your stories, and also let me know if any psychic predictions ever came true, because I feel like I have so many friends who will go to a psychic and then like a year later they tell me like everything fucking came true. Everything they said happened. And again, it's like, I don't know if that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy thing, or if they really just know, if they're like that tapped in with the stars. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so, 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 so much. And I don't even need a psychic to tell you guys that. I love you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, little divas.